Hello, welcome back to another video. If you watched the last one, thank you. If you're watching this one, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm wondering if you've ever had a bad day. I know for me, I've had a bad day. I'm sure you have had a bad day if you're a normal human being. And I'm not saying you're not a normal human being if you haven't had a bad day. Kudos to you. But when you're having a bad day, have you ever thought about when did my bad day start? I think a lot of times we just allow days to happen to us and we don't take inventory over why we're feeling bad or what was the encounter or interaction that changed our mood. I think that it's really important that when you wake up in the morning to take an inventory of how you're feeling. Normally when I wake up, I'm feeling hungry and I'm feeling rushed because I'm late to work and I'm running to get there. But it's important to take like an emotional inventory, so to speak. I'm like, how am I feeling today? I'm feeling good. Cool. I work in coffee. I've worked in coffee for a long time. So when I have to deal with customers, if a customer rubs me the wrong way, am I going to allow them rubbing me the wrong way completely shift my mood? It's really difficult. I definitely, like I've said before, am not the expert and am still working through a lot of this stuff. But I feel as if I've gotten a lot better because previously someone looks at me sideways, someone says some snarky comment to me, and my entire day is ruined and I'm frustrated. I'm driving home and I'm allowing them to live rent-free in my brain all day. And then I get home and take it out on whoever I live with or myself somehow. I think that if I were to have taken inventory on those days and understand how I was feeling, when I started feeling differently, I would understand, oh, this interaction made me feel this way and know what to do with it rather than allowing life to happen and the day to progress with me just taking that on as my own emotion. So I think it's important to recognize like what happened was not chill, whatever the interaction was with the customer. But at the same time too, am I going to give them my power of control over my emotions and myself? Because that person is probably not thinking about me or the interaction once it's already happened. And if I'm allowing this person to have that much power over me, I've lost control of my own emotions and I've lost control in my own life. And that's just not a fun way to live at all. Something that I've learned from Jonas, especially, he was sharing like there's times when he's having a really good day, Nadia's not having a good day. Or Nadia's having a really good day, he's not having a good day. But just because the other person isn't having a good day, that doesn't mean that this person has to take on those emotions. It's okay to have a good day when your partner's not having a good day and you're able to be there for them. But at the same time too, you're putting that where that belongs and you're not taking that on as your own. Because if you're living based on someone else's emotions, like in a relationship, it's just going to be this hurricane that you're getting whipped around and around and around. And I don't think that it's a healthy way to live because then you're not even in touch with how you're feeling about things. It's just like, oh, my partner's upset about this, so now I'm upset for the rest of the day, even though I didn't even interact with this person, place, or thing. Again, I think that's why it's so important for us to take that inventory and recognize how we're feeling. If we wake up and we're not in a good mood, cool. I recognize I'm not in a good mood and I know that I have to interact with people. So I'm going to interact with them this way in order not to push that mood onto someone else. Additionally, I think empathy is something that's super important for us to have. But I do think that there's a difference between empathy and taking on someone's emotions. We can't just be an inlet of emotions all the time and listening to what people have going on and not have an outlet and somewhere to put those things. Because it's so easy to take on other people's emotions when they were never ours to like handle to begin with. I think empathy is important, but knowing what to do with those emotions is just as important. Because you can't be there for everyone and just take on everyone's emotions when you don't even know what to do with them yourself. Because eventually, as you're just putting more emotions and more emotions into you, like you're going to explode. It's important to have people in your life that you can talk to about things that are going on, even if they're not having to do with you. I think it's important to have people to talk to when you have emotions that are your own and you recognize are your own to talk to. But at the same time, usually whenever someone shares something with me that's kind of heavy, I'll go and I'll chat with Jonas and be like, hey, Jonas, I have to share this with you. Are you in a space to listen to what I have to say? And he'll let me know whether he's doing something or he's able to listen. And he is such a great friend and he's always there for me and always listens when I need him to. So I appreciate Jonas. Shout out to Jonas. Big shout out. But if I don't have a Jonas or someone to talk to about these different things, it just becomes internalized and it becomes like this echo chamber where all these emotions are just bouncing around. And then I can't even differentiate what's my emotion and what's someone else's emotion because I haven't let it out. It is so important to have people that you trust to share things with that are not only your emotions, but other people's emotions that you've taken on. And this is why I think that emotional intelligence is so important, because realistically, at the end of the day, that's what I'm talking about, is having some degree of emotional intelligence, recognizing this is not my emotion or this is my emotion and what to do with it. Because if it is my emotion, this is the play for what I'm supposed to do. If it is not, this is the play for what I'm supposed to do. But being able to differentiate that requires emotional intelligence. And I think it's crazy that they don't teach emotional intelligence in school, because I think so many of the world's problems and just day-to-day problems could be solved if one or two parties involved would utilize emotional intelligence. With all that being said, I think it's important to take inventory of how you're feeling every day. How are you feeling physically and emotionally? And then going from there, and when something changes, tracing it back to that moment and recognizing, oh, when this person said this, it made me feel this way. Sitting and feeling that moment, but walking away from it and knowing what to do with it, or having someone to talk to and let go of that. Because the more that we hold on to stuff, we can't move forward in life, and we become stunted in our emotional growth and our emotional intelligence. And I think it's so important for us to develop that muscle of emotional intelligence so that we can be empathetic but not be taking on things. Because if I'm just taking on so much stuff, I'm not going to be available for someone who actually needs me, because I'm so bogged down with all these other emotions that I'm taking on from all these other people. And then I don't even have time to be a human and recognize my own emotions because I have all these other people's emotions going on. Something that I've noticed about myself and has been pointed out, again, by Jonas, appreciate him, is that I have oftentimes been so quick to listen to other people and be there for other people, but I'm so much slower to ask for help. And so a lot of what I'm saying is partially what I've learned and partially what I'm learning. Jonas told me, like, hey, I don't want to share stuff with you if you're not going to share stuff with me, because I want to be there for you the same way that you're being there for me. And I think that we have to take off that cape and stop trying to be the hero for everybody and take care of ourselves. I think that it's important to, going back to the previous one, have those good friends that are willing to be like, hey, I want to be there for you, and this is what I need from you to be there for you. Because I don't think I even realized that I was creating a martyr out of myself by just taking on everyone's emotions and everyone's feelings. And since I've been more cognizant of sharing how I'm feeling and what's going on in my life, I feel like I have more of a capacity to be there for other people, because I'm emptying out these different emotions that I was feeling, and there's room for new ones, and there's room to continue to grow. I think that when trauma comes into play, we oftentimes, as a way of protecting ourselves, we try not to feel bad things. And with that, we cut ourselves off from feeling good things. I learned that the hard way. I had a professional situation where I was super let down and very disappointed by the way that things turned out. And instead of sitting there and feeling that or going to someone and talking about how I was feeling, I just internalized it and I bogged it down, and the emotions became too big for me. So in trying not to feel the bad of that situation, I no longer was able to feel good. Music wasn't hitting the same, food tasted bland, just nothing was hitting how it used to hit, because I had clogged up those pipes of feeling. It's just as important to feel the bad so that you can feel the good. Now, the difference is I can't live in the bad. Having the ecosystem of people who are there for you, that you trust and that you can share these things with, is so important in order to get through the bad. Having some degree of self-awareness of your needs in that situation is so important to getting through the bad. The bad sucks. The bad's not fun. But that is the way that life works. There's bad and there's good. But if I don't feel the bad, I can't feel the good. And if there's anything I want to convey in this, is just be okay with not being okay, but don't stay there. You're not on anybody's timeline. There's not a script on how to get from A to B. Do it at your own pace and be okay with that. Because when you start to compare your life and the way that you're navigating different things with other people, you're just going to kind of fall down this slippery slope. So just be aware of how you're feeling, feel what you need to feel, share what you need to share, and take the steps that you need to take to move forward. It's so much easier said than done. It takes moving past emotions and stepping into what is truth. Because for me, with making videos and different things like that, if I listened to my emotions, I would do nothing ever, and I would only play Madden 24 hours a day. But the truth is, I want to do something with these videos, and I want to share things with different people, and so that's my truth. So in that truth, that is going to supersede emotion. Oh, I don't feel motivated. I don't feel like it. No, I'm just going to get up. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to turn on a camera. I'm going to try. I may not get all the way through a video. I may not get all the way through something, but I'm taking the steps that I feel comfortable with where I am. And I think that I know that when I was not feeling my best, I knew what I needed to do, but getting to what I needed to do and from where I was such a difficult thing. And it was just, in my mind, there was this battle just to get up, to do something. And I think if you can find the strength just to inch towards moving forward, and you continue to choose that, eventually it's going to become a lot easier. But know that you need that ecosystem of people, and you need to understand how you're feeling. You can't just be passive, because this is your life. You only get one of them. We're not on the planet for that long. And I think it's so important to take every moment and seize it. Because for the longest, I wasn't doing that. And I was allowing my emotions to dictate every aspect of my life. And so my timeline of my life was just so up and down. And I don't want that for anyone else. So I'm hoping that in me sharing a little bit of my story, that you got some keys and some tools for your tool belt. I appreciate you watching to the end of the video. Like before, I'm told I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe. So you should probably do that, because again, I like making these videos, getting a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera. Additionally, shout out to Nadia for having such a cool house and allowing me to film in it. Because this is just how Nadia is living. This isn't a set. This is how Nadia is living right now.